Alright guys, what's going on? So this has literally been the worst week ever as far as celebrities. So I think it was Monday we ended up losing Malcolm-Jamel Warner. It was Theo and the Cosby Show. I grew up watching him. It was great. Kid was a great actor, and from there we lost Ozzy Osbourne. And I just released a video the other day talking about Ozzy, and man, I've seen so many concerts in my life. I had to, I say it all the time, I had to have been to at least 60 shows, and Ozzy was the guy to see. He was unbelievable. His stage presence was unmatched, and the guy just freaking went out there and killed it. He would attack the crowd, and he'd raise his hands and tell you to clap your hands and throw buckets of water out there. He would throw a shoe out there for people to fight over. He was just, when you went to see Ozzy, you never knew what was going to happen. You know, I'm a huge Kiss fan, not Mark and Kiss, but when you went to see Kiss, you kind of knew what the show was going to be. I've seen those guys 7 times. They're great. Love them. Love Ace Frehley. Love all those guys. But, you know, Ozzy was a tough one to choke down, and he was... rock and roll is dead. He was the godfather of rock and roll. I've been saying it for 8 years, and I came home last night, and my son said to me, I said to my son a year ago, like, here's what's going to happen. I'm like, Ozzy's going to go out like a Lemmy or Motorhead. Like, he's going to do a show, and then that's going to be it. I said to him, like, he's going to do a show, and then he's going to be gone. And that's exactly what happened. And I came home last night, we're eating supper, and my son is an unbelievable drummer. I'm so proud of him, and I'm not saying that because he's my son. The kid freaking rips on the drum set. I wish I could do like some drum stuff here because you guys would love it. But he's like, Dad, you called it. He's like, freaking Ozzy went out there, did a show, and then he was just gone. He said he was that's what was gonna happen. So then, you guys know I watch the channel. I'm big into working out. I've worked out in gyms for like 30 years. I was always a big Gold's Gym guy. And I was always like, you know, a natural guy in the gym. Never did anything. Always freaking just ate food, steaks, eggs, beer. Took the kind of Babe Ruth approach to it. With that said, I'm a product of the 80s. I'm Generation X. And, you know, we grew up in the 80s. So we watched wrestling. Today, freaking Hulk Hogan dies. Like, what are you doing to me? And the only better guy that I liked to watch in wrestling other than Andre the Giant was Hulk Hogan. He was such a huge personality in the wrestling ring. You know, he was unbelievable. He was such a great guy to watch. And he's just a funny dude. And you could watch the guy and he just kind of, it was entertaining. He was unbelievable. You guys that grew up watching me know. So yeah, today's been a freaking rough week with, you know, I feel like half of my freaking childhood is gone now. I always watched the Cosby Show. I loved that show as a kid. Who didn't? It was a funny freaking show. And then, like, on the rock part of things, they say it all the time. I had 83 newspapers as a kid, and I was always listening to Ozzy in my headset. And on, like, when in the 80s, I'm 51 right now, the guys of the Generation X, you know, so like in the 80s, all the rock music would come out on Friday, all the new songs. So the radio stations would release the new songs on Friday, and then on Monday, the record albums went on sale. So you went to the store, the record, place on Monday, and you bought the tape of the brand new album, and that's how we rolled. It was kind of cool. So you were always waiting for that new song, and Ozzy was just, the guy always stayed relevant. Like he always changed with the times, and he always reinvented himself. And the guy never skipped a beat. I saw him twice. I saw him, I believe it was in the 90s with Black Sabbath when he reunited with Black Sabbath. And then I saw him 5 years ago, and I brought my kid to see him for his first concert because I wanted him to see something decent for our first show. Not one of these stupid fly-by-night kind of bands that are out there now. Those aren't rock bands. Ozzy's a friggin' rock band. That's what you gotta go take your kid to see. So that's what I took him to see, and he still talks about that concert to this day. It was a perfect first concert from the sea. We had an absolute blast. Ozzy started the show at 9 o'clock at night. He came up to Mr. Crowley, and he was singing War Pigs over the mountain, you name it. He sang it, all the tunes, and it was an unbelievable night. And then I came home last night, and I said to him, I'm like, someone else is gonna go by the end of the week. I'm like, this shit always happens in threes. It always happens in threes. And today I went to work, and my buddy Brian texted me. He's like, Tony, Hulk Hogan's gone. I'm like, what do you mean Hulk Hogan's gone? I'm like, it hasn't even hit the news yet. And Brian tends to know some people, and sure as shit, like an hour later, it started blowing up on my phone. Hulk Hogan freaking passed away, but yeah, it sucks. I've been to his Hulk Hogan beach shop a bunch of times in Orlando, and he's got one, I believe, in Clearwater, Florida. If you're ever down that way, it's a pretty cool place. If you grew up in the 80s, even if you like Hulk Hogan and wrestling, check it out. And it's definitely a cool place to go visit. But I went out with my wife tonight and had a couple of Mai Tais and some Chinese food, and I got to end the week with this because it's been a rough week. So here's where I'm at today. I got more videos coming out, and we'll keep plugging away. And that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching the channel, guys. We appreciate it. And man, it's been a rough fucking week, but take care. I'll catch you on the flip side, and we'll have some more stuff coming out. Take it easy, guys.